Long before the sun begins to rise over the ancient city of Sana'a, the quiet rhythm of life has already begun. In the cool, pre-dawn air, a young boy adjusts his school bag and steps out into the narrow, winding stone alleys. His footsteps echo softly against walls that have stood for centuries. Down the street, a tea seller strikes a match, lighting a small charcoal stove to brew the first pot of the day. A few blocks away, a vegetable vendor carefully arranges his wooden cart, preparing for the morning rush. Hundreds of miles away on the western coast, the salty breeze of Al Hudaydah sweeps across the shoreline. Fishermen, working in quiet coordination, push their heavy wooden boats out into the dark waters of the Red Sea, navigating by memory and the fading stars. Up in the rugged central highlands, farmers are already climbing the steep, mist-covered mountainsides, checking the ancient terraced fields that their ancestors carved into the rock. To much of the outside world, Yemen is a place known primarily through the lens of conflict. It is a nation often reduced to headlines, geopolitical debates, and images of war. But for millions of Yemenis, today is not defined by the news. It is defined by something far more enduring. A new day begins with work, with family, and with the quiet, persistent hope of an ordinary morning. As daylight finally breaks, the old city of Sana'a reveals itself. It is one of the world's most distinctive historic cities. The city wakes up to the sight of towering mud brick houses, their facades decorated with intricate, white geometric patterns. Families have lived inside these vertical homes for generations. And as the morning takes hold, the streets between them fill with motion. Children, dressed in neat uniforms, walk together toward local schools. The traditional souqs, the ancient marketplaces, open their doors. The air fills with the sharp, earthy scent of spices, roasted coffee, and fresh bread. Behind closed doors, the morning centers around the family. Yemeni households are deeply multi-generational. Grandparents, parents, and children share the same living spaces, anchored by a profound respect for elders. In the kitchens, women prepare breakfast, rolling out dough for flatbreads to be baked in traditional ovens, serving it alongside warm beans and sweet, cardamom-spiced tea. Breakfast remains an important moment before family members leave for the day. Out on the Red Sea coast, the morning is defined by the physical labor of the ocean. The fishermen return with their catch, bringing life and commerce to the coastal markets. Inland, on the towering green mountains, agriculture dictates the pace of life. Farmers tend to coffee plants and sorghum on terraced fields that cascade down the slopes like massive staircases. These fields require constant, meticulous maintenance, a physical testament to the generations of hands that have worked this soil. If you travel across these varied landscapes, from the coastal plains to the high mountain villages, you will encounter a defining pillar of daily life, a deeply rooted culture of hospitality. Even in the most remote areas, a guest is treated with deep honor. By the afternoon, the pace of life shifts. Across the country, men gather in sitting rooms for traditional cat sessions. For hours, they sit together, chewing the green leaves of the cat plant. For many Yemenis, these gatherings remain an important part of social life. These gatherings provide a space where business is discussed, community issues are debated, and relationships are maintained. Through the morning commutes, the bustling markets, and the afternoon gatherings, a clear reality emerges. Yemen is not merely surviving the circumstances of its geography. Yemen is living. To understand the daily rhythm of Yemen today, we must look at the historical moments that shaped the lives of its people. The everyday routines we see now are the direct result of centuries of adaptation. The first major turning point lies deep in antiquity, when Yemen was positioned at the very center of global trade. Situated between the Mediterranean Sea, the Red Sea, and the Indian Ocean, Yemen was the heart of the ancient incense route. This strategic location brought prosperity to many trading centers. Cities flourished. A distinct merchant culture was born. Many families built their livelihoods around trade, connecting the East and the West. This historical period helped shape a long tradition of trade and commerce that has been passed down through generations of Yemeni families. The second turning point is not a single event, but a geographical reality: the high, unforgiving mountains. Yemen's interior is dominated by rugged peaks and deep valleys, which historically made travel incredibly difficult. Because of this isolation, communities developed independently. Villages became self-sustaining. The family and the local tribe became central to social organization and survival. This geography forced people to rely heavily on one another, resulting in the preservation of distinct local dialects, customs, and an exceptionally strong sense of community loyalty that defines Yemeni society today. The third turning point arrived in the modern era, with the unification of North Yemen and South Yemen in 1990. For decades, the two regions had operated as separate entities with different political systems and social structures. Unification opened a new chapter of high expectations. Borders were erased, families were reconnected, and people began the complex process of adapting to a unified national identity. It was a period marked by shifting economies, internal migration, and the hopes of building a modern, integrated state. The fourth turning point began in 2014 with the onset of the current conflict. The impact of this period on everyday life has been sweeping and profound. Schools that once hummed with activity faced sudden closures or lacked basic resources. Hospitals struggled to secure essential supplies. The national power grid faltered, leaving cities in darkness. Public water systems broke down. Jobs disappeared overnight, and the price of basic food items, wheat, rice, cooking oil, skyrocketed. The routines of millions were entirely rewritten. The conflict did not just change the government. It changed how a mother cooks dinner, how a father earns a wage, and how a child learns to read. Living in Yemen today requires navigating a landscape of immense hardship. If we only acknowledge the culture and history, we ignore the profound daily struggle of its people. The challenges affect nearly every part of daily life. Water scarcity is one of the most significant daily challenges. In many cities and villages, the simple act of getting clean water requires hours of labor, often falling on the shoulders of women and children who must wait in long lines at public distribution points. The lack of reliable electricity means that keeping food fresh, running a small business, or simply illuminating a room at night is a constant logistical puzzle. Unemployment weighs heavily on communities, leaving many families without a steady income. Inflation constantly erodes purchasing power, turning a simple trip to the grocery store into an exercise in difficult choices. The education of a generation has been severely disrupted, and accessing adequate medical care requires navigating a fragile, overburdened healthcare system. Yet, when you look past these systemic challenges, you also see another side of daily life. You see the human strength that steps in when systems fail. Where public infrastructure falls short, the family often becomes the primary safety net. Relatives pool their dwindling resources to ensure no one goes hungry. Communities organize to share water and electricity. The traditional souqs, despite the inflation and supply chain disruptions, still come alive every single morning. The vendors still arrange their produce. The shopkeepers still open their doors. The fishermen in Hudaydah still cast their nets, fully aware of the economic and physical risks, because their communities rely on the sea to survive. High in the mountains, the farmers continue to reinforce the stone walls of their centuries-old terraced fields, preserving a method of agriculture that has sustained their ancestors. Ancient crafts, from silversmithing to weaving, continue to be quietly passed down from master to apprentice in the back rooms of old markets. Small businesses, operating on razor-thin margins, refuse to close down. The news frequently tells the world about everything Yemen has lost. But everyday life reveals something far more important. It shows exactly what the Yemeni people are fighting to preserve. So, who is shaping the tomorrow of Yemen? If you step away from the political negotiations and look at the streets, the answer becomes clear. Young people are actively seeking out education wherever they can find it, gathering in makeshift classrooms or studying by battery-powered lights. Many see education as one of the few paths toward greater stability. Women are stepping into new economic roles, opening small, home-based businesses. They are baking, sewing, and offering services within their neighborhoods, making an increasingly important contribution to household incomes and reshaping traditional gender roles out of sheer necessity. On the rooftops of Sana'a and other cities, a quiet transformation has taken place. Solar panels now catch the abundant Yemeni sun, providing a decentralized, practical solution to the power crisis. For many families, solar panels have become a practical way to restore electricity to their homes and allow small shops to stay open after dark. Farmers are utilizing whatever resources they have to keep the terraces green. Fishermen continue to pull sustenance from the sea. And across the world, a vast diaspora of Yemenis living abroad works tirelessly, sending remittances back home to keep their families afloat, serving as a vital economic lifeline for the entire nation. A new generation is growing up with a profound desire for stability. They are looking beyond the divisions of the present, hoping for a future where they can simply live, work, and build. The future of Yemen will not be decided solely by international agreements or the headlines printed in foreign newspapers. It will be built, day by day, by the people who still roll up their metal shop shutters every morning. It will be built by the parents who still walk their children to school, the fishermen who still sail into the dawn, and the farmers who still plant their seeds in the mountain soil. The sun begins to set behind the ancient, towering houses of Sana'a, casting long shadows across the stone streets. The call to prayer echoes through the valleys, signaling the end of the day. Slowly, the small neighborhood shops begin to close their doors. Inside millions of homes, families gather around their dinner tables, sharing a meal and the stories of the day. In the corner of a quiet room, a child finishes their homework under the steady glow of a solar-powered lamp. Far away on the coast, the tide gently rolls in. The fishermen are already organizing their nets, preparing for the journey they will make to the sea tomorrow morning. Tomorrow, before the rest of the world even wakes up, Yemen will start a new day. Because a nation is never solely defined by the conflicts the world sees from a distance. It is defined by millions of ordinary people who wake up every single morning to work, to care for their families, and to quietly, persistently preserve life.